All right, here's where we're keeping the baby chicks. I have a heat lamp. I use a white bulb. The red's usually too hot, unless you keep it at a distance. So I think there's 14 chicks. We had one die. And we got the crumbles, and we have water. And I just took some 2x12s and made a box like this, and then I have a lid over it. And this is just until they get big enough to go in the bigger coop. So I'll take you now out to the big coop that we're gonna rebuild. Bear with me for a second here. Okay. So here's the current coop, and I'll tell you what we learned from it. We've had it for about 5 years or so, and actually, yeah, 6 years. So this is the coop, and then we have a run. Okay. So one thing I know on the run is we use 6 foot tall chicken wire. Okay. With T-posts, and then I put a thicker wire that used to be a little bit tighter. That's kind of lost some of its tension. But for us, the chickens have not gotten out of this area. They don't fly out at this height of the chicken wire. It could be maybe the breed of the chickens or something like that would maybe cause one to fly out, but we haven't had a problem with that. But basically the chickens have a good access to pasture and getting bugs and eating grass and stuff like that. So so with the coop, here's some of the problems that we've learned. So one, the direction it all faces. So chickens need shade. The next coop we're going to be building, instead of the coop being on this side, it's going to be on this side, and that's because that's east and that's west. And so when it gets hot in the summer, that sun just comes blazing into here, and they don't have a good shaded area. I plan on putting a tree here shortly out in the chicken run as well to give them some more shade. But this coop is going to be over here so that I can have afternoon shade for them to go into. So that's one thing I've learned. Because we allow the chickens to go out into their run, it's typically open. We'll have a wire door here that's open right here, and they can go in and out. Well, that's also created some problems because we have predators and the starling birds come in. So I saw a YouTube video, a guy made a great feeder to prevent wild birds from eating all your food, and it works great. So what he did is he just took a 5-gallon bucket, drilled a hole in it, and used an eye bolt. You can kind of see the eye bolt, and just put a little PVC on it. Then you fill the bucket up with feed in here, hang it, and then the chickens just peck at it, and every time they peck, some food falls out. So one, when you do this with, I don't know, we had 12 chickens, which I did, this past fall I made them stew birds because they were old. But with 12 chickens, you typically only have to refill this for like almost 2 weeks. You probably want to see, and keep an eye out on it. If you use a clear bucket, which we can kind of see the shadow through this bucket, but if you can find a clear bucket, then you'll really be able to see, where your food levels are. Regarding water, we have a bucket with the nipples on it, right? And then they could just, tap these. So you tap those little nipples, and then the water will come out. And then we have like a frost-free hydrant right there where we can fill it up. So those are, you know, that's water and food that we've learned some things about. With the water, it is better than the feeders that are down low where they can just get water off the ground, because they're disgusting and they poop in their water. So this way it keeps the water clear, prevents them from getting sick. Regarding this mess over here, so a few things. One, they would roost on this guy right here, and they would roost up really tall. So they don't need it to be short to go up and roost. In fact, just because of predators reach and stuff like that, I would put any roost up at you know, at least 2 feet. That would be my thought. The other thing is you don't want them over each other, because then they'll poop on each other. That gets kind of gross. So we're planning on putting in a roost system that's more like, you know, one going along this side and then one going along that side, allowing us to be able to walk in and out, and but keeping it off the ground, right? Also, I bought these on Amazon. They're a cheap LED light. It has a sensor on it, and it's battery operated. It gives off just the tiniest bit of glow, and that's all they need to help them continue to lay in the winter time. But when it starts to get dark out a lot, and their egg production really goes down. But if you have just a little light like this, it really provides, I don't know, whatever's needed for them to keep laying eggs. Let's see. So another thing we learned about it is the door opening. I hate crouching. I don't know how many times I hit my head or do something like that. You want to make it easier to get in and out and clean things out. Again, the chickens are disgusting. You got to clean things out every once in a while. I also don't like that we have a board down here, and I want it to be the door to be at least enough to fit a wheelbarrow through, and you know, a rototill and mower for going through there. So the next coop's going to have a door that we can fit a wheelbarrow, rototill, mower, and that we can go straight through with. And not have a board on the bottom right there. Maybe there'll be a board that we can like remove. What I do like about having something along the bottom here is to prevent predators from digging underneath. Also, you could bury some. I probably wouldn't use this half. What is this? No, I think this is 1 inch. I think it's 1 inch chicken wire. I'd probably use the 1/4 inch galvanized wire and put a trench along the bottom. I'm going to do that on the new coop. But have that go underneath the ground a little bit so stuff's not digging in there. We don't have a lot of predator problems. I've seen skunks in here, and I think that's the only thing I've seen in here. Let's see, what else? Cleaning wise, I think it's best to have it be metal. I'm gonna build the whole thing out of metal siding. Sorry, like that structure right there that I'm almost done building. Doing metal siding with pressure treated lumber. So this new house, right, when we build this new one, it's gonna be all just metal panels with pressure treated framing. We're gonna shed roof it instead of doing a peak. We're just gonna shed roof it. What I try to think about now is, one, we have wasps that try to come in and build nests, spider webs and stuff like that. I just want to make it as easy as possible to come in with either a blower or a hose and wash things down periodically to get all the spiders and mainly the wasp nests out of here. We also have you know, the nesting boxes that we can access from the outside, right? So for whatever reason with the nesting boxes, all the chickens go to the exact same ones, right? They usually just pick one and they just make a line out there. It's so annoying because they have all these areas they can lay. So you don't need lots of laying boxes because they all want to lay in the same spot for some reason. I will say that without fail, every time with the number of chickens you have, there's always a chicken that likes to peck at the eggs, eat the eggs. One way to prevent that is using broken oyster shells. You could buy, you know, a 50-pound bag of that. It'll last a super long time, and just throw that out every day, and then that gives them like some calcium and helps prevent that. Make sure they always have feed and all the stuff that they need. I used to have a nesting box where the eggs would roll away after they lay them so that they couldn't peck at them, and I'm gonna get that again for this new one. I've built one, but you can also buy them online. But the ones that roll away, that is a really nice feature. Let's see, I'm gonna check my list here, see if there's anything else. I think we're gonna make it so that to fill up the food and water, we'll be able to do it from the outside. So we're gonna have some sort of a hose that kind of just goes right into there, so you can turn it on from the outside to go straight into there. And then regarding the food, it'll be a bucket type system as well, but something where we can maybe have like some sort of a chute and pour it in from the outside. I don't know if we'll end up doing that. We just didn't like crawling in there because the height and everything like that, but if we make it easy to get in, then it's probably not necessary to go to that. I think that about covers all the things we're thinking about. So we'll see how the build goes on it and let you know.